Hello, friends. As I'm speaking to you today, the situation in Manitoba is changing. Evolving is a word we hear. The number of active cases identified each day is going up. The sources of contagion are identified, but there's a lot that's community, which means it's out there and we don't know how it's being spread, that the public health tells us. There's the numbers in personal care homes and, for the elderly. Some in particular are really sources of worry. And so, yes, many things are evolving. The situation, the measures that might be taken. We're in the time of, will public health decide that these places must be closed or these activities must be really much more restricted for the time being. And so there's an evolution to that. But there's another evolution I'd like to talk to, or change. In terms of, sometimes we say evolution is towards the better, but sometimes evolution or change can also be towards the worse. And in the given situation that we are right now, there can be an evolution, a change towards greater anxiety, greater fear, greater depression in people's hearts, in their emotional being, in their mental well-being. Also on the negative, there can be a negative change towards people in their hearts having greater anger, greater frustration, greater sense of either empowerment or the right to lash out at others. But I do have to say that, and we see it, there can also be evolution. There is evolution towards people saying, okay, the danger has risen, so what has to rise also is our efforts together, our efforts out of a concern for all, for the most vulnerable, not doing harm to anyone. That can also grow, be cultivated in the human heart and the human mind at all levels. And I see that in families, I see that in parishes, and it's wonderful to see. It's a response. Because that's the business, if we can put it that way, that the church is in. That's the mission of Christ, the mandate of each parish. It is indeed to together help one another to grow in those qualities, those virtues, those traits of heart and mind that indeed bring the greatest love and the greatest good to all people. It really, really is. That's our business. How do we grow together to be more holy, more loving, more merciful, more solid, in solidarity with one another? That's the business of the church by the commission of the Lord. And so what I'd like to do today is quickly enough speak about two elements of the recent document that we sent. Now, the recent document we sent, and if you want to go see it, it's on the website, it's on Facebook, it was sent out in the weekly bulletin, so hopefully many of you got it in your Sunday bulletins electronically last week. But what it is, or no, you'll be receiving it this week. What it is a recall and a clarification, because again, as situations evolve and we see actual details that need to be discussed, dealt with, we do so. I'd like to speak first of all of the process really quick. The process was through the Council of Priests And therefore the priests from each region, hearing from the priests in that region, and hopefully the priests throughout a certain region hearing from the lay people in that region, perhaps especially those who are responsible for the managing of this situation, each in their own parish, for safety, for keeping things very, at a distance, sanitization, all that's needed. So doing that discussion, calling forth what are all the questions, bringing those questions through, and we had a good direct conversation with the government spokesperson, and then again a second meeting of the Council of Priests. We're bringing this forward. So even there, what I'm saying is the process is important. This is not one person deciding, a small group deciding, which is really what should happen also in our parishes. This should be attentive listening to what's out there, especially in the hearts and the minds, but especially in the hearts of people, and then how best to do it in our parish. So among other things that we, if you wish, clarified, is there's the question of masks. And the language we used this time was, we wholeheartedly ask that masks be worn at all religious services throughout the Archdiocese. And so there's a change in language, an evolving, I hope, from what was first said. We highly recommend that masks be worn at all times or in all public circumstances, church services. Now we use the word, we wholeheartedly ask. We could have said, as a diocese, we obligate. It's a mandate. It's you have to do it. But when you use that language, or that approach rather, then you have to be the policeman enforcing it. And really, I come back to it, our work, our business, is about helping people to grow as people. It's like St. Paul in one of the situations, people were asking him, is it all right to eat meat that's been sacrificed to pagan gods and is now sold in the market? There's nothing there, they would say. And Paul said, you're absolutely true, there's nothing there. However, for some of your brothers, that's a scandal. And so you have to take that into consideration. So the masks, yes, we wholeheartedly ask people, and in parishes in your discussions, to have an openness of heart and an openness of mind to what actually is the best, and to then communicate that to people, to invite people, to motivate people to that practice. We have some clarifications in terms of whenever there's movement within the liturgical assembly, greeting at the entrance of the church, everybody their mask, priest their mask, and everybody their mask. Whenever there's movement, lectors going up, ministers of communion, at the communion time, processions, any movement, then that the people wear masks. It is possible, and the government spokesperson was saying that when we're in our pew sitting, not moving, 6 feet from everyone, that masks could be removed. Could. But again, it depends on the situation. In Winnipeg and the Orange Zone, no, public health has mandated that masks must be worn at all times in all public places. Well, therefore, as good citizens and helping one another to be good citizens, we do it. So it's that whole sense of together seeking what is the best, and each local area in terms of just how things are done. will be particular. And so it's a local effort by that mind and heart to seek what is best. Singing. We know that singing propulses viral matter stronger. So we wholeheartedly ask that there be no singing. Certainly not full voice. Leader of song, distant from people. But singing is such a part of our liturgy that we're just moved to sing. But shall we sing lip syncing? Shall we sing murmuring? Shall we sing at a low voice? That probably is what is best for all, if we're even going to sing. And to have a Mass, if we're even going to sing like, but we always consider what is good for all, what is make sure we don't bring harm to anyone, and go from there. But the Spirit is with us, and we have to be confident that the Spirit is at work in our hearts and our minds as we seek to journey in this together, but especially to help our hearts, minds evolve towards greater love. Thank you.